your English podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to your English podcast, the ideal spot to gradually improve your English with each episode.
Great to be diving in again.
Okay, let's unpack this. We are diving into a challenge almost everyone faces when learning something new, especially a language. Building consistent discipline.
Yeah, it's a big one.
You shared some really insightful sources on how to tackle this when learning English, and they offer some, well, surprisingly practical strategies.
Yes, the material you provided gives us a clear look at those common hurdles. Procrastination, losing motivation, feeling overwhelmed sometimes.
Right.
And it lays out concrete ways to overcome them. So, our mission in this deep dive is really to extract the core insights from these sources.
Figure how to make it stick.
Exactly. Figuring out how to turn English learning from something that should happen into something that does happen consistently.
And honestly, it's so relatable. The sources immediately call out that classic struggle, the I'll start tomorrow syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
You intend to practice, but suddenly anything else feels more urgent or appealing. Do you see a bit of that start tomorrow voice in yourself?
It's incredibly common, isn't it? And what's fascinating about how your sources approach this is they don't just say try harder.
Right. It's not just about willpower.
No, they emphasize that sustained progress isn't primarily about sheer willpower or setting these massive, daunting goals. It's more about creating small, consistent systems and manageable habits you can actually stick to day after day.
The power of starting incredibly small. Your sources really push this idea, don't they?
They really do.
They suggest beginning with just 5-10 minutes a day, or even something as simple as reviewing or repeating just one new word or phrase while you're doing something else.
Yes, the insight here is that consistency is king, really. Those regular short bursts of practice build foundational habits and integration far more effectively than those infrequent hours-long study marathons.
Which can feel totally overwhelming anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One source uses the perfect analogy of physical exercise. A small daily workout yields results over time in a way that hitting the gym for 3 hours once a month just doesn't. It's about building that regular learning muscle.
So it shifts the focus, as your sources point out, from setting big goals like learn 100 words this week, which sounds terrifying,
Right.
to building sustainable systems. What does that look like in practice, according to the material you shared?
Well, it means creating a predictable routine. Instead of just hoping to study, you design a system. I will listen to an English podcast during my morning commute, for example.
Okay.
Or I will add 5 new words to my digital flashcard deck while I'm eating lunch. Or maybe I will review words from my new word journal before bed.
Simple, specific action.
Yes, the sources give specific examples like using playlists for review, listening daily, or keeping that journal. Things you can actually do.
And systems are powerful because they automate the decision-making process, right?
Totally. When it's just part of your daily flow, like brushing your teeth or having coffee, you spend less precious mental energy deciding if and when to study.
Yeah, you avoid that whole internal debate.
It prevents that decision fatigue that often leads straight to procrastination.
Your sources also highlight the importance of making the learning process genuinely attractive. How do they suggest doing that?
Yeah, this is crucial. They strongly recommend incorporating content you actually enjoy.
Like what?
Watch videos, listen to songs, follow social media accounts, or consume podcasts, even if they're just for entertainment initially, but do it in English. It doesn't have to feel like tedious studying every single moment.
Making it less of a chore.
Exactly. And coupled with that, they discuss positive reinforcement. Reward yourself after you complete a study session, no matter how small.
Ah, okay.
Could be a small treat, watching an episode of your favorite show, or just some relaxing time. This builds positive associations with the habit, making discipline feel less like, a burden.
And more like a pathway to something enjoyable. They also touch on how environment and energy levels play a big role, right? I saw that mentioned.
Absolutely. Your sources advise setting up a dedicated space, if possible, free from distractions, or intentionally studying when your mind is freshest, maybe first thing in the morning for some people.
Automating the where and when.
Yeah, automating where and when saves that mental energy we talked about, making it easier to just start. Plus, they mentioned social support and accountability.
How does that fit in?
Well, sharing your progress or goals with someone, having a study partner, or even just exchanging a new word daily with a language friend, as one source suggests, makes it much harder to skip. There's someone else involved.
Right, that external pressure, even if it's friendly.
Uh-huh. It really feels like building momentum, doesn't it? Your sources use the phrase turning on a motor.
I like that analogy.
Once you consistently take those first few small steps, you build inertia, making the process smoother over time. It directly combats procrastination because the task you're facing each day isn't massive.
It's just that small, manageable action.
Exactly. And that feeds back into the reinforcement loop we mentioned. Rewarding yourself for hitting those small, specific milestones solidifies the habit.
Making it stick long term.
The ultimate aim, as your sources suggest, is to make learning English as automatic and routine as having your morning coffee. Through consistent small steps and reinforcement, it just becomes baked into your day.
So, looking at all the material you shared, the key takeaways really center around starting tiny, almost ridiculously small sometimes. Building practical systems rather than just vague goals, making the process enjoyable, optimizing your study environment and personal energy,
Yeah, working with your natural rhythms.
and leveraging social support and accountability.
That covers the core strategies beautifully. And as you, listening, consider these insights from your sources, which of these strategies resonates most with you right now?
Yeah, which one feels like the easiest, maybe the most practical step to try putting into practice first?
It does make you pause and think, doesn't it?
Yeah. It really does. If consistent small actions can build such powerful momentum and make discipline feel almost automatic in something like language learning, what other areas of your life could fundamentally change if you applied this same system building small step approach?
That's a great question to ponder.